we flip our inequality. Okay, so that's what happened in all those little green parts in each of those forms. Okay, what questions do you guys have? That's all of step 2. And in the next bit, we'll do a bunch of examples. So there are questions so far? Okay, I'll give you, I'm assuming you guys need a little bit of time to write all that down. Is that the case? Okay. I guess we'll move on to examples unless somebody really needs time to write stuff down. Okay, so in our first example, I'm just going to give you the absolute value of x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 1. Now, do we need to do anything for step 1 in this example?
No.
No, it's already isolated, so we're good to go. So all we have to do is identify which form it is and then split it into its 2 different inequalities. So Francesca, what form is it?
Form
2. Yeah, form 2. Okay, so form 2 has us splitting it as x, well, if I could write it all, x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 1, and x minus 2 is less than or equal to negative 1. So those are the 2 different forms that we have. Okay, and then we solve those equations. Okay, so add 2. So we get that x is greater than or equal to 3, and that x is less than or equal to 1. Okay, so these are our 2 options. Either of those could work. And I want to go ahead and draw like a number line out to show where our solutions are. So our smaller number is 1, so I'm going to put that here, and then our larger is 3. We use 2 different colors to show us where each of these is going to be. So the x is greater than 3 will be the pink, and less than or equal to 1 will be the blue. Now both of these have like equal to in the inequality, so it needs to be a solid dot. And then in the pink, we have x is greater than or equal to 3, so my arrow needs to go to the right. And with this one, I have less than or equal to 1, so my arrow needs to go to the left. Okay, so that's what my solutions look like. What questions do you guys have on example 1? What questions? Anything?
No.
Okay. Okay, so hopefully this is straightforward for you guys. Do you guys need a minute to write it down, or can I move on to the next example? Okay, I'm gonna move on. It'll still be in the screen, so you'll still have a chance to copy it down. So in example 2, oops, I didn't label these. Okay, so in example 2, we have the absolute value of 4x plus 8 plus 6 is greater than 30. Okay, so what do we have to do, Brandy, to isolate this absolute value?
You will subtract -6, well, -6 from the 30.
Subtract 6. Good job. So I'd have 4x plus 8. Oops, that's an ugly x. Is greater than 30 minus 6 is 24. And then Sanaya, what form am I going to use?
One.
Yeah, good, form 1. So what are my two inequalities going to be when I use the form 1 to break it up?
Four x plus 8. This is greater than 24.
And then what's the other one?
Then 4x plus 8 is less than -24.
Perfect, yes. And then Francesca, can you help me solve each of these?
As you subtract 8.
Okay, so I should get 4x is greater than, what's 24 minus 8?
Why can wait? It's
So we could take 4 away from 24, which would leave us with 20. And we have to subtract 4 more, and 4 from 20 is
16.
Yeah, 16. And then over here, what's negative 24 minus 8?
32.
Yeah, negative 32. Okay, and then we'll divide by 4 on all of the sides. And I ran out of room, so I'll write this inequality over here. We'll have x is greater than 4, and x is less than -8. So those are my two inequalities. And I'm going to color them, and we're going to put them on a number line. So Brandy, which one should go first? What number is the smallest?
4.
The -8?
Oh yeah, -8.
Yeah. -8 and then 4. And then are they going to have open or closed circles?
Opened.
Yeah, so 4 will have an open circle. -8 will have an open circle. And then which direction is the pink arrow going to go?
Right?
Yep. And then the blue?
Left.
Yeah. There we go. Oop, that was a really ugly arrow. Sorry. Okay. So those would be our solutions. All right, questions on example 2. Okay, we have 2 more examples, and then you guys are done, and I'll let you go early if you would like. All right, so do you guys need a minute to copy this down, or am I good to flip the paper?
You're okay to move on.
Okay. All right. Did I hope that I started recording this meeting. I did, thank goodness. Okay. All right, so example 3. We're gonna have The absolute value of 4 minus 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 25. I'm going to make this a little bit more complicated for you guys too. Hold on. Well, it works out so nicely though. Yeah, actually, well, I'll just leave it. Okay, we'll leave it. All right, so first we need to subtract 3 from all the sides to isolate the absolute value. Okay, so I get 22 right there. And then I need to identify my form. I think it is form 4. And split it up into my inequalities. So 4 minus 2x is less than or equal to 22. And 4 minus 2x is greater than or equal to negative 22. So now I need to solve. Be careful because I put the x second this time. Okay, so this 4 up here needs to be subtracted. Okay, and then I'll have negative 2x. And 22 minus 4 should give me 18. And then negative 2x. And negative 22 and negative 4 should give me negative 26. Now, does anybody remember what happens when you divide by a negative number when you have an inequality?
It flips the sign.
Yeah, it flips the sign of the inequality. So I'm going to have x is greater than or equal to negative 9. And x is less than or equal to positive 13. Okay, I'm going to highlight this in a different color. And we're going to make a note of that. So we divided by a negative value and it flipped the sign. Okay, so that's what happened in the pink. Okay, and I am going to, well, I did this weirdly yesterday, but it kind of worked out. Well, I'll just leave it. So this time I'm just going to write my number line. Well, I'll do it, fine. So we have this one. We have this guy. Negative 9 is smaller. So I'm going to put negative 9 and then positive 13 up there. They both have equals in their inequality, so I'm going to put a solid dot and a solid dot. Now notice that we have values bigger than or equal to negative 9 and smaller than or equal to 13. So it's the stuff in the middle, I'm using purple, that is going to connect, or the stuff in the middle are solutions to these inequalities. Okay. What questions do you guys have about that?
Could you explain that part again?
Yeah, so I had x is bigger than or equal to negative 9. So bigger than or equal to means my arrow would have gone to the right. And here I had x is less than or equal to 13, which means my arrow would have gone to the left. And since I have this arrow moving to the right and that arrow moving to the left, everything in between these two dots is going to be colored. Does that help?
Okay, yeah.
What other questions do you guys have?